welcome to Food for the Soul. I'm Ama Opari. It's been a while since I've done an interview, and today I'm excited to interview Jasmine Leyva, who has been working on a project, a video documentary project called Invisible Vegan. I'll let her tell you more about it. So welcome to Opari Institute and Food for the Soul. I'm so happy to have you here and to get a chance to talk to you. Very excited about your upcoming movie, The Invisible Vegan, and thrilled that we got the chance to participate in that. And I thought, normally I ask what people are doing towards the end.
I'm so sorry. Turn that off.
I should do the same thing.
All right, there we go.
So normally I ask about what people are doing towards the end, but since it's such a big thing, I thought we'd start right off with you telling us about your project and what people can look forward to.
Okay, so I have been, I'll call it flirt. Well, now I'm a full vegan, but before that, I was flirting with veganism for about a decade. And I would, I live in Los Angeles now. When I would go back home to my friends and family in DC, they would always tease me about it, and people of color. But I was always fascinated by it. And I'm just like, why is it that they're so resistant? And why don't they get it the way I get it? So I started watching all of these vegan documentaries. And one thing I noticed was, wait a minute, these messages are not formatted for people of color. When I'm watching a documentary, as great as it is, when I'm watching a doc like Food Inc., and it's just wait, all the experts are white males. You don't even introduce people of color until maybe the 50-minute mark. And then it's just to tell a story about a poor family who's feeding their kids with Burger King. So I'm just no. We need to see ourselves in the movement, and we need to see images we can relate to. So I saw that absence, and as I have a background I went to school for film. I've worked as a producer on different productions. So I'm like, you know what? I can send this message. So that's what made me, that's what started Invisible Vegan, which is the name of my documentary. So literally at 2 years ago, I'm just like, I'm going to make this documentary. And before I knew it, I was just sending emails, started researching people online, finding people like yourself, who were doing great things in that realm. And I just started booking plane tickets and interviewing people and getting together money and editors and footage. And here I am.
So it's all done now? The final edit?
It's not completely done, but it's the gist of it is complete. I still need more money to license the photos and music in the project. But as far as putting it together, now I'm at an hour. I have a nice solid hour and a half. It still needs to be polished up, but for the most part, the hard part is done.
So who all is going to be in it besides us?
Besides you guys, we have Stick from Dead Prez. I know he was, when you were in Atlanta, he was out there with you guys.
Yes.
John Sally, former NBA player and health advocate. Cedric the Entertainer actually hopped on board later in the game. Lauren Ornelas, the founder of Food Empowerment Project. Xavier Brown, founder of Soulful City. Ronnie Webb, founder of The Green Scheme in DC. Tracy McQuarter, author of By Any Greens Necessary. Dr. Milton Mills. Let's see, am I forgetting anybody? Genesis Butler, she's a young animal rights activist. And a few other people. Yeah, we have a nice strong lineup.
Wonderful. I'm really looking forward to seeing it very much. We've been watching, enjoying the trailers, and I will make sure to link to the trailer in the description or on the blog page as well. So, encourage everybody to go and watch it so it'll be in, how will people see it? Will it be in the regular theaters, or how,
No, not yet. So I'm still debating on whether I wanted to go the film festival route or just try to get distribution and, maybe get a VOD deal. But yeah, baby steps. So I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to a release early next year.
Okay. And then for folks like us who are in Tanzania, will there be a way for us to see it online or something?
Well, for you, I can definitely send you like a personal link. So
okay, cool. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so you said a little bit about your vegan journey in terms of why you made the film. Go back even further, and how did you come to the vegan, plant-based lifestyle in the first place?
Well, when I was young, I heard of vegetarianism, but I didn't really get it. Like, I always looked at vegetarians as, kind of, it's this weird thing where people just deprive themselves. I never got the background behind it. And when I moved to LA, LA is way more health conscious. I went to this restaurant called Stuff I Eat, and the owner, Babette Davis, she's in her 60s. And I noticed the way she looked, and she did not look like the 60-year-olds I was used to. And then there was another lady who was about 50 that was working the register. Same thing. Like, I thought she was like 27. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? I thought I was in the Twilight Zone. Like, what are you ladies doing? Because you're doing it right. And they explained, like, well, we eat mostly raw. I think she said she ate about like 20% cooked food, everything vegan. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, I want to look young and beautiful forever, so let me try this. So I tried it for about a month, and I was battling with really bad acne when I came to California. And so, like, I noticed, I'm like, whoa, my skin is clearing up, and I'm like, did 5 pounds just fall off me? And digestion just got a whole lot easier. So after that, I was just like, oh, okay, there's more to this vegetarian, vegan lifestyle than what I earlier thought. And then as time progressed, I read more and more books on the subject, and then it became not only a cosmetic choice, but then it became a spiritual choice, and then it became an environmental choice, and then it became like an animal rights choice. So all that kind of evolved over the past like 10 years.
Mm-hmm. So you've been vegan then, or mostly vegan, for 10 years?
No. I've oscillated between being a vegan and being a Jasmine-tarian, where it's just like for the most part, I was vegan, but if I went to a place and they didn't have good options, I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to get this house salad. I would just say, like, well, whatever, give me a nice fish dish or something. Mm-hmm. But over the past like 3 years, it's been solid. Like, no, we're not doing any more cheating. We're cutting out all that stuff. And I think that's when it became more about, I think that's when like the animal rights side of it kicked in.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the importance of plant-based diets for people of African descent? Is it important? And if so, why? If not, why not?
I think it's important because in the US, like, you look at Black communities compared to other communities, diseases are killing us at a higher rate. We're dying of diabetes, we're getting cancer, and we already, people in marginalized communities, and a lot of times those are communities of color, they don't have access to the best healthcare. So that's another part of it. Like, if you already have like the low tier healthcare, you want to make sure you take that extra step mm-hmm. to make sure that you're eating right and you're doing everything that you can do to avoid preventative diseases. And then on top of that, I feel like we have a lot more things that stress us out as well. Like, it's just like, the white guy on Wall Street, you're not worried about some cop pulling you over for no reason and illegally searching your car and maybe shooting you in the head after you said you can't breathe. Like, you don't have that type of struggle. Mm-hmm. So with that, it's like we already have like enough on our plate. Like the last thing that we need to deal with is like, oh, now I have to take the little bit of money that I do have and spend it on a family member who has diabetes that maybe shouldn't have diabetes to begin with. So it's really important for us, like where we are now, to work on ways where we can be stronger and where we can fight these other battles, because we can't fight battles if, you know, every year we're going to a new, you know, cancer related funeral.
Right. And do you think there's a relationship between racism or white supremacy and the fact that we're eating the way we're eating and having the diseases we're having?
Oh, most definitely. I don't think when I watch movies about Black history, one thing that bothers me is it's always about, you know, they love to put these slave movies out there, and they love to put these movies out where we're struggling for our civil rights, you know, we're at the bottom. Right. But then when I watch, you know, movies about white history, you got Marie Antoinette, and we're learning about, you know, our Achilles, they're strong warriors and their royalty. And we don't get to see ourselves, you know, in those same like high places. So the same thing with diet. When you think about like all the things that are put out about the Black diet, it's always like soul food and fried chicken. And we've learned to accept, you know, slave culture as African culture when they're two different things. You know, that's just what they want us to think. They want us to think that, you know, like I said in the movie Food Inc., they want to show people of color, like, look, this is you. You are the people that feed your kids Burger King. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't want to show a different example, because they know if they showed a bunch of healthy Black people, you know, eating plant-based diets and flourishing, you would have other Black people who want to follow in those footsteps. And then, you know, by design, you would be creating a stronger race. And that's not what they want. So it's something that we have to want and take for ourselves.
Powerful, powerful. I agree 100%. So do you have tips for people who are new or who are struggling? What are things that you did to help you make it over at the beginning or in the last 3 years to help you over that hurdle of being a Jasminetarian to being a
I would say
vegan?
One thing I would say is educate yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, if you know better, you do better. And I think before I was following the diet, but I wasn't reading the ideology behind it. But then when I started picking up books like by Annie Green's Necessary, you know, Breeze Harper wrote this really great book called Sister Vegan with all these like essays from different Black women that really get into the importance of, you know, plant-based eating and how it relates to racism and classism and sex and all this other kind of stuff. And when I started reading, that's when it was just like, whoa, I can't participate in this system anymore. Like, I want this lifestyle for my children. So I would say educate yourself on it. Another tip is have the mentality of a winner. You know, like a lot of people, when they hear about, when, you know, they say like, oh, you're a vegan, I tried that for a week, that's just too hard. Mm-hmm. Now, anytime you're doing something where you're stepping outside of your norm, it's going to be a little bit difficult. The way someone with a losing mentality processes that is, oh, that's outside of my norm, it's too hard. The way a winner processes that is, oh, it's a challenge, I am strong, so I'm going to step up and meet that challenge. So just make sure when you view, you know, plant-based eating, you view it with a winning mentality. You just look at it like, yes, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge you can meet. And now with Google and the internet, literally whatever kind of diet you need, you can look it up in 2 seconds. Like, it's just like, veganism is hard. I need some easy recipes. You can just Google easy vegan recipes and like 8 million vegan recipes are going to show up, or whatever type of food you already eat. So say, you know, you love spaghetti, vegan spaghetti recipes. 8 million things are gonna pop up. So now it's just like we also don't have that excuse of like, oh, it's too hard. I mean, it's difficult because it's a change, but it's not as hard as people make it. And then also simplifying your diet a little bit. You know, me personally, I'm not a chef. I'm not out here creating like Michelin star dishes, but I've learned to be satisfied with, I've learned to eat for what I want out of life. Like right now, sometimes if I'm working production, I'm working 16-hour days. I don't want to be weighted down. I don't want food that's going to have me like gassy and insecure when I'm around other people. I don't want to get, I don't want to have the itis and get sleepy. I need food that's going to make my skin flourish. It's going to give me energy. So instead of snacking on like, a Snicker bar, I just cut up a cucumber, put some like lemon juice on it and snack on it. And even though that sounds boring, the more you eat foods like that, your taste buds are going to readjust. Like you're going to start feeding for, we're used to like really just dead, greasy, salty, sugary food. But you can like retrain your taste buds where you're just like, after a while, you're going to start eating the cucumbers and it's just going to be like, dang, this cucumber is, I don't remember this cucumber being this good. But that happens once you retrain your taste buds, but you have to allow yourself enough willpower to get to that point.
Definitely. So what is your typical diet like? What do you normally eat? What's your favorite vegan food?
Let's see. I'm big on salads because I've always been a quantity eater. So if I was on a regular diet, I would just blow up because I'm that person. I need like, 2 big plates of something. I don't know why. But now with a plant-based diet, it's more so I get like a big mixing bowl full of like, spinach leaves, and then I'll throw some strawberries in there and some mango in there and some type of nuts, maybe pepitas, and put like a little maple syrup on it to give it like a sweet taste. And I could just rock out on my whole like mixing bowl full of salad. So I like that. My guilty pleasure, I do like, the mock meats. I know that's not where you want to be. Ideally, that's the next phase. And that's another thing. You can do things in phases. If you feel like, oh, I can't do everything at once, do it in phases. Like first cut out red meat, replace everything with chicken. Once you have that mastered, like, all right, let me cut out, instead of making the spaghetti with the chicken parmesan, let me make it with fish. And then once you've mastered that part, like, all right, instead of making this lasagna with, tofu, let me make it with, zucchini or what have you. So now I'm at this phase where I'm still entertaining the mock meats a little bit. I really like kelp noodles. That's a new thing because I'm a big pasta lover. But pasta just adds pounds on you, so you don't want to eat too much pasta. But if you eat kelp noodles, that gives you more leeway. So I think it's something ridiculously low. I think like 20, 30 calories in like a big serving. So I can make some homemade pesto and just kind of rock out on a lot of that and still get, nutrients. I'm not eating food. I'm eating sea plants and getting vitamins to help my skin and hair flourish. So that's cool. And then if I'm going raw vegan and I want some type of dessert, I'll just take like, cashews and dates and make like a little pie, and you just blend it, maybe put some like coconut oil in there, blend that, make that your base, and then get some like strawberries and bananas or whatever kind of fruit you like, put that in a blender, put it on top of your crust, let it sit in the freezer for a little while, and then you taste it and you have like a nice, rich, flavorful, kind of like raw vegan pie, and it's delicious.
I always loved brownies, raw brownies, ready in 15 minutes. Have you ever had that?
No, I have not.
Oh, got the recipe on my site. But it's just basically walnuts and dates and coconut and raw cacao powder. Put it in the food processor, press it down in the pan. They say refrigerate it for a little while, but I always just start eating it.
I can't wait that long.
If you really want it to be decadent, you can make like a raw chocolate sauce and put that on the top. Very good. It's on my site. I'm looking forward to, we don't have all of our stuff yet. When I get my food processor, I'm going to be making some desserts.
Nice.
Yes. What lessons did you get from making your movie? What did you learn from the people you interviewed? What was maybe your biggest aha or a couple of things?
One of my biggest aha moments was, I interviewed Psyche Williams-Forson, and she's not a vegan. And, she kind of made the point that, now a lot of things are like forced on us, where people say like, you have to do this and you have to do that. And it's not always, it's food policing, which isn't always respecting people's boundaries. So when I had the interview with her, I'm like, that is a good point, because I don't want to come at my audience that way. And then I just think, as Black people, we just have more sass, and we are of that, like, well, hold on, you can't like tell me what to do, like you ain't my mama kind of thing. You know how we can be. So kind of putting that element in the documentary too, like, listen, this is not a documentary to control you. This is just, look, I want to give you the facts, but at the end of the day, like, it's your life, do what you want, you'll still be completely accepted. So that was a big aha moment, because I realized that's what other, vegan groups and vegan documentaries, they have a tendency to do. Like, they come at it from this very militant place, but they don't understand, like, okay, psychologically, your audience is not in the same frame of mind that you are. Right. Like, you're talking to people because you've read all these great vegan books, you've seen all these great documentaries. You're talking to someone who like just heard the term vegan a year ago. So you have to approach it from, that place where it's like, I'm not trying to force another thing on you, because now it's like gluten-free, no sugar, this, that, and the other. Like, it's just, hey, look, I'm offering this information from a kind of chill place. Check it out. And, you get more, you get more with honey than.
Yeah. More with, honey than salt or something. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I have a post I wrote about, don't be a vegangelist.
Exactly. And I don't want to be that person. And I can't be that person, because I wasn't born a vegan. It's just like 5 years ago, I had a drumstick in my hand and thought nothing of it. So I can't be that person that judges other people, because I'm like, I was where you are a few years ago. I understand that place. I understand how to talk to someone in that place. And it's not by shaming them. Mm-hmm. It's by like, hey, look, do you want to feel uplifted? Here's something new you can check out if you would like to, if you're in a place to.
So what made you said she's not vegan, the psychic. Why did you interview her?
Well, because a part of the documentary is reconnecting Black people to their original kind of like culinary traditions. Because when we think of like what we added to the food arena, it's just like, oh, we added soul food. And it's like, no. I mean, we did, but before the slave trade, like, we were over in Africa, like, we were making fresh crops too, like, eating fresh, healthy foods. That's not a white thing. Like, that's us too. So as a food scholar, she knew the history of like what we eat, what we ate, why we ate it. So I just wanted her take on, I wanted her perspective in there. And again, like, I didn't want it to be, even though it's a vegan documentary, I didn't want it to be non-inclusive of people who are not where I am. Because that's not what the doc is about. Okay.
Any other insights or special moments from the movie you want to share?
Let's see. Oh, two of the young ladies I had working on the doc with me since the project, two of them went vegan. Like, I had one girl, Tarina, she went to Prague with me to interview Sebastian McJetters, and he's like a writer and social rights activist. And after spending, we stayed in his home for about like 4 or 5 days, and he would take us out and, we talked and we ate vegan foods. And she was inspired, by that trip, and she's been vegan ever since. And then another one of my friends, Erica, she did a shoot with me with chef Nina Curtis, who's a vegan plant-based chef based out of LA. And same thing, you know, she, Chef Nina like prepared us some food, and now, you know, Erica's missed like avocado toast in the morning. She's embarking on her own like vegan journey, and she's had problems with fibroids too.
Mm-hmm.
So she's kind of looking at this as just something to help, help not make the problem worse.
Right. Well, Breeze Harper will tell you she healed her fibroids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I met Breeze like I finally met her like a month ago.
Yeah. So on that health tip, you mentioned a little bit about your skin clearing up, digestion getting better, losing some weight. Any other changes in your health since you've gone vegan?
Yes, I mentioned it in my one thing that I mentioned in my documentary is early, you know, in my mid-20s, I started having a lot of, I started having like problems south of the border. You know, I would always have like, you know, yeast infections, BV, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, why does my vagina hate me? And you know, these are the problems like we, you know, as women, we don't talk about. Like, no one wants to talk about their yeast infections. No one wants to talk about their hemorrhoids. But I believe, like, you know, well, if you want to help people, these are real women problems. Like,
right.
These are what we're going through. So that was another part of it too. Like a lot of the south of the border issues that I was having and that I was embarrassed about, because, you know, if you're being intimate with people, that's not a good look. So those problems went away. So that was another really big pulling factor that kept me with veganism. I'm trying to think anything else. And I don't get sick that much. I know before strep and then that one bad, like whether it be the flu or the cold, like every year, like that was like an annual thing. Like once the weather changed, it's just like I'm waiting, like, okay, when's my disease gonna get here? And now that thing, I don't remember the last time I was really sick.
Yeah.
It's been years, actually.
Wonderful. And does you have chronic disease in your family? Do you have a family history of?
I have cancer runs in my family. Diabetes runs in my family. I think those are the major two. Yeah. But I really believe like it's diet related. I know people say like it's a hereditary thing and blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's a part of it, but it's also just habitual. You know, a lot of people in my family who, you know, have passed because of these diseases, the main common similarity is like they ate the same way, you know, like your immune system. I look at my immune system as like my army. And in order for your army to win battles, you have to give them the right weapons. And, you know, and these diseases are like, you know, for that, they need the big guns. Like they need the nutrients that are in like greens and fruits. And if you're just feeding your body like, you know, Chinese food and McDonald's, it's like, you know, you're sending your army to fight a nuclear battle with some pocket knives, you know, like not equipped to fight the diseases that come at you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, I think, yes, our diets are hereditary too, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you needed more money to finish your project. If someone was interested in helping you get that money, what would they need to do?
I am launching a crowdfunder around the time of my screening on July 15th. So that link is going to go, that link will go viral the Tuesday after my project, so the 15th, 16th, 17th, like the 18th. So if you did want to donate money on the 18th, look for my crowdfunder.
Okay.
And it'll be on my webpage, theinvisiblevegan.com, or you can go on Facebook. The Invisible Vegan has a page. Instagram at The Invisible Vegan, Twitter at Invisible Vegan. You can, you know, look me up on any of those channels.
And what's the Black vegan community like in LA? Is there one?
Yes, yeah. Because LA, like literally where I live now, there's probably about like 10 cool vegan places close to me. So LA is really progressive as far as diet because you have a lot of people out here who are in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lot of people who want to do it for cosmetic reasons
Mm-hmm.
because they want to stay, they want to stay slim, so they book these like modeling and acting jobs. So you just meet a lot of people are more open to it out here.
Mm-hmm.
You meet a lot of Black vegans, and they're always really receptive. Like the other day I was like sitting at a table and I ordered the girl brought me flatbread. It had cheese on it. I'm like, oh, I can't eat the cheese. And the girl next to me is like, oh, you're a vegan? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, me too. And big afro. And they're like, oh, we got to connect. Whenever you meet like a Black vegan, it's always just like, we need to bond. Like we eat the same diet. So we are bonded on this weird level. Like it's crazy. I've met a lot of new friends just from being vegan.
And in your making your film, you traveled around a lot. What did you find out about the Black vegan communities in the various towns and cities that you visited?
Then now it's becoming, now veganism is becoming a trend. So before, like take my hometown, like in DC, when I talked about veganism about 10 years ago, I was getting laughed at, and then I go home now and my friends are like, do you think I should buy this juicing Bible? Now they have more vegan restaurants, Black owned too, like popping up in various neighborhoods. So now it's more like it's trendy, but people are starting to see like, it's trendy, but this isn't a trend. Like it's a lifestyle, and more people are seeing themselves in the lifestyle. So it's creating more interest in places where there was no interest before.
I think that's great. We need to build this food revolution.
Right. So we can live.
That's right. So for some, I know one of the things I do hear from people is they don't have anybody else around them to support them, or they don't know anybody else. How would you suggest that they go about finding community, or is there a community, of online, or just tactics they could do in their, in their community at home? Or
I would say just put it, just kind of put yourself out there. Like if you are interested in, making other vegan friends, if you're on Instagram, the same way people like post things that they cook, like if you're posting your vegan dishes, you're going to attract like minds. Mm-hmm. So it's like the more you put that energy out there, the more people will just like naturally gravitate to you. Like it won't happen overnight, but, and they also have a lot of vegan events now. Like for example, in DC, they have like this big thing called Broccoli Fest. Which 10 years ago, I never would have thought people would care about the Broccoli Fest. And now I look at my Instagram, I'm like, the Broccoli Fest was the spot. Like everybody was at the Broccoli Fest. So you can always look up, vegan festivals and just vegan expo events where you can go and meet other like-minded people. They have the vegan hip hop dinners. Mm-hmm. If you look up, I don't know the website, but I know Keith Tucker. If you look up Keith Tucker, Green Hip Hop Dinners, and they have like a lot of cool, people, John Sally, KRS-One. So it attracts like a really just eclectic, cool, like urban crowd. And usually at those type of events, like people are friendly. Like they're all there under the premise of like health and getting better. So it's not a thing where if you want to go up and talk to people, they're going to shut you down. Like it's about community. Mm-hmm. So you can find those types of events. Even local restaurants, local vegan restaurants, they know of different vegan events coming up. So yeah, just put yourself out there.
Yeah, and in Baltimore they have the Vegan Soul Fest, I think it's called.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Lots of good activities around. And then in next month in Atlanta, they have like it's a raw food festival in West End. And yeah,
Nice.
it's small. I mean, it's not like a big street thing or anything, but yeah, it's usually a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. LA, they probably already have one.
Probably. So what do you see coming next for you after, or can you not see past the movie?
No, next, well, my number one passion, I actually want to be, I want to be an actress.
Uh-huh.
I've worked behind the camera for so long, I almost forgot that part of my passion. So next, around Christmas time, I'm going to be shooting, a kind of sexual, erotic thriller film, but it'll be a theatrical film. So I'm going to star in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to keep up with, I guess, my food activism. I don't know if I want to be an activist per se, but I do want to, stay active in the green movement. And even when when I am making my own movies and creating my characters, like for example, the character in my film, she's going to be vegan, so kind of still sending the message, even when I'm not explicitly sending the message.
Good. So putting veganism in the mainstream.
Right. Like it's always going to be, it's always going to be one of my passions, because I honestly feel like, there have been people in my life whose lives have been cut short because of like how they ate. And I wish that they had, had these messages geared toward them and broken down toward them in a way that, maybe they could, decode it and possibly still be here. And I can't do anything about them per se, but, for the next generation, someone's aunt might see my film and go, you know what, maybe I can change a little bit. Maybe this is a little bit too much meat, so.
Have you seen it have any impact, your veganism, on your family, your parents or your siblings?
Definitely. Yeah. Like so many of my friends, like, a few of them, it was a period like after I put out my trailer where I would get like a text message like once every other week, and someone like, oh, just so you know, I've been vegan for like the past 2 weeks, so a few of my friends have gone vegan, other ones have cut down on meat, but the people closest to me, yeah, most of them are vegetarians and vegans. So, and not even from me telling them that's what they needed to do. Like none of them, at no point, like I'm not the friend that if we go out and I get my veggie burrito and you get your steak burrito, I'm like, meat is murder. You shouldn't do that. Like I'm not even that friend, they just see my lifestyle, and they go to events with me. I take them to the vegan restaurants I go to. And that's another part, like they taste the food and it's so flavorful and different from what they're used to. Because they think that, before I think they thought like, oh, you're a vegan, you're depriving yourself. And I remember one of my friends who came to visit from New York, when I took her to the restaurants I go to, she was like, girl, she's like, I thought you were depriving yourself. You are living life. And I'm like, no, the food is delicious,
Yeah.
Because it's just so flavorful. And I think our palates are formatted for, that, plant flavor instead of like that piece of chicken with some salt and pepper.
Right. Yeah, it's the salt and pepper that gives it the flavor, really.
Right.
So any other thing you wanted to share with people about either your documentary or about veganism or just, whatever? What else would you want to say?
I would say it's with veganism and kind of with anything, you just don't knock it until you try it. Like I have a lot of people who, there have been a lot of people who, when I mention that I'm a vegan, and not because like I want to bring it up, it'll be a thing. I'm at an event they see me with a lettuce on my plate and no meat, and they're like, what's going on? I'm just like, oh, I'm vegan, I don't eat that. And then they'll start to attack my lifestyle. And it'll be a thing where I'm like, well, have you ever tried it? And they're like, nah, I don't need to try it. And that's ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me, when I first met the female vegans, my instinct was, let me try this for myself and then develop an opinion instead of developing an opinion based on something I've never tried. So if you are that person, at least before you knock it, you know, before you're that one like, veganism is stupid, blah, 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 just try it first. Just take a month and try it. And then if it doesn't work for you, then it's just like, okay, you can knock it, do whatever, but just try plant-based for a month. Just check it out before you bash it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that.
Wise words. So again, if people want to find you, either and the documentary or just you in general, where are you on the web?
Okay, so like the rest of the world, I am on Facebook because that's just where well nowadays. And you can find me. I'm Jasmine, Jasmine C Leyva, Leyva. So you can find me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. And if you would like to follow the Invisible Vegan specifically, there's you can check out our splash page at theinvisiblevegan.com. You can find us on Facebook, The Invisible Vegan, Instagram at The Invisible Vegan, and Twitter at Invisible Vegan.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, Jasmine, for taking time out and talking to us and helping to spread the word. Thank you for the work that you're doing with that film. As I said at the beginning, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Like you, I've watched all of those, Food Inc., Forks Over Knives, all of those. Good contact, but yeah, where are we? So
Yeah,
thank you. And that's all the questions I have. And unless you have anything else you'd like to say, I would say we're done.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Well, thank you again for being a part of my journey.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me and allowing me to be a part of yours.
Wonderful, wonderful. You're welcome.